A couple of years ago, I was browsing around YouTube, inevitably about to watch Taylor Swift's Blank Space video for the 10th time. And as I sat there waiting for the video to load, a commercial began to play. Now, in this commercial, a variety of participants were given different actions to do and instructed to do the first thing that came to mind. The moderator first asked, "Show me what it looks like to run like a girl." In all cases, the participants immediately threw their hands up in the air to flail dramatically as they kicked their legs back and forth in a kind of chicken-like dance. Now, in the second round of this video, the same question is posed, but this time to a group of young girls. The result? Every single one of these girls put on a determined face and sprinted in place, as though they were being chased by someone. I later found out that this commercial was titled #LikeAGirl, and that it was part of a female empowerment campaign produced by the company Always. Looking a bit more into the campaign, I discovered the extent of social biases and stereotypes against women, which prevent young girls from reaching their full potential. I also realized that the same principles applied to my world and had been influencing it for years. That world is tech. For some people, tech may describe a scary concept, our unknown goals for the future, and a strange way of thinking. But most people can agree on one thing. Without tech, we would not be where we are today. Tech is crucial. Some of the greatest innovations in human history have been a direct result of advancements made in the tech world. Tech is crucial in pushing the boundaries of what we define to be possible. It is a field that is constantly changing and at the forefront of human innovation. And yet, while the tech world is booming, one group of people is getting seriously left behind. That group is women. In the United States alone, women hold only 22% of tech jobs. According to the Anita Borg Institute, this is largely attributed to the numerous barriers that women face upon entering the workforce. Such barriers often persist throughout a woman's career and affect her advancement. Firstly, young girls are less likely to be encouraged to pursue technical careers than their male peers. Secondly, women in technical fields face isolation and a lack of access to female role models. And finally, rigid corporate structures and policies keep women representation in technology low. Understanding these challenges is crucial in defining our approach to attract, retain, and advance women in tech. Now, the first problem in attracting women to tech starts with childhood, when many girls are conditioned to believe that they are incompetent in math and science. A study published by Tel Aviv University tested and measured the effects of gender bias in the classroom. Beginning in 2002, researchers studied 3 different groups of Israeli students, from junior high to the end of high school. The students were given exams and graded in 2 distinct ways, one by individuals who did not know their identities, and another by teachers who knew their names. In math, the girls outperformed the boys on the anonymously scored exams, but boys outperformed the girls when graded by teachers who knew their names. The researchers concluded that the teachers overestimated the boys' abilities and underestimated the girls in math and science. And as they studied the children as they grew older, they found that this metric had long-term effects on the students' attitudes towards the subjects. In high school, for instance, the boys who had been encouraged when they were younger significantly outperformed the girls on national exams. And the girls who had been discouraged by their teachers were much less likely to take advanced math and science classes. The results from this study unfortunately correlate with a much larger issue, which is girls' lack of interest in pursuing a STEM degree once they get to college. Today, only 8% of female freshmen indicate an intention to major in engineering. Now, whenever we think about the attraction and retention of these 8% of women in college is definitely critical, but also extremely difficult. A couple of researchers, Jane Margulis and Alan Fisher, conducted a 4-year study of women in computer science at Carnegie Mellon University. At the beginning of their study, they found that the girls were 2 times as likely to leave the major than their male peers. A large factor was attributed to departmental culture and the fact that many girls simply felt like they didn't belong in male-dominated classrooms and conversations. In other words, we need more female university role models. One of the biggest and most important factors in retaining women in technical majors is what the person at the front of the classroom looks like. In fact, this idea can also be extended to the workforce, where only 8% of American CIOs are women. We need to define and change the boundaries of what women can do by incorporating more women in corporate leadership. Without women to look up to, many women in tech ultimately get discouraged and leave. See, I saw the effects of this firsthand during one of my internships. It was my first day on the job, and like many people, I was worried about making a good impression. Little did I know that it would be extremely easy for me to make an impression, but not necessarily in the best way. I was the only woman, much less only person under the age of 30 on my team. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. And it was only then that I realized that diversity in the workplace could potentially be worse than the diversity in my engineering classes. You see, the idea of attracting and retaining women goes hand in hand with advancing their careers. A unique problem that women face is the ongoing work and family pressures which affect their advancement. Many women are in their key childbearing years, the same time they are trying to climb the corporate ladder in industry. We need to push companies to change the culture of tech, to incorporate paid maternity leave, paid paternity leave, company-sponsored childcare, and flexible scheduling. Without doing so, the industry will have a huge price to pay in losing women that they have attracted and shaped and transformed over the years. Women can and will contribute to some of the greatest innovations of our time. And our actions today in promoting them have a direct effect on future generations. But incorporating more women in tech is not strictly a women's issue, nor is it strictly a man's issue. It's everybody's issue. When we exclude 51% of the world's population from technology that is used by close to 100% of the people, we are doing ourselves a great disservice. We need to encourage young girls to pursue their interests in math and science and make them feel like they belong. We need to advocate for more women in academia and push companies to incorporate policies that support women throughout their entire careers. And maybe just then, can we finally create a world where doing things like a girl is a compliment and not an insult? Thank you.